Hello guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls. It's me, Big Mike, and welcome to another episode of Big Mike's Big Universe. It's been a long time since we had some big news in the world of UAP and astronomy to talk about, but this past week, fam, two really big and very different kinds of stories dropped. One is astronomers have found a radio signal from non-human intelligence out in the universe from a neighboring solar system, alleges a famous science educator and someone who has worked closely with NASA. The other is another whistleblower has come forward claiming that the United States government has a secret program called Immaculate Constellation that is tracking UAP sightings and reverse engineering them. So buckle up, fam, we're in for a wild one today. And so just to kind of throw out my quick political disclaimer here, because in the second story I will be talking about politics a little bit. So I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Libertarian, I'm not a member of the Green Party. I just consider myself a partyless leftist. So if I mention any politician or political party here, please don't take that as me agreeing with their politics or their policies. My politics shouldn't even matter here because I'm not a political channel, and the only time I ever talk about politics is when it involves AI or UAP. Also, while I'm here, I just want to remind you lovely guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls that I do have a Ko-fi account, and for the time being, any type of donation I receive on Ko-fi will go towards helping me to build or to buy a better computer. And having such will allow me to do more and different kinds of videos on my channel. So anything I receive now will go towards helping me to do that and will greatly help my channel. And if you would like to make a contribution, please see the link in the description. And with all of this out of the way, let's jump into our first story, fam. Our first story centers around an alleged signal from a non-human intelligence source. Professor Simon Holland is a famous science educator and producer who has created documentaries for the BBC, Smithsonian TV, PBS Nova, and NASA, for which he produced Finding Earth Killer Asteroids. He told DailyMail.com, "I'm a retired BBC film editor, specialist factual department. I taught media studies at the graduate level after leaving the BBC." He told the Mirror, "We have found a non-human extraterrestrial intelligence in our galaxy, and people don't know about it." Holland explained that his source is from someone working in Breakthrough Listen, Mark Zuckerberg's privately funded program whose aim is to look for evidence of life out in the universe. He states that astronomers belonging to the Oxford-based project have identified undeniable evidence of transmissions originating from another world, he told the Mirror. The signal is a burst of radio waves that lasted for a duration of 5 hours and appeared to originate from the vicinity of Proxima Centauri, which sits at a distance of about 4.2 light years from Earth. While the team from Oxford has confirmed they are analyzing the signal, they have not given a probable source. Holland thinks that this world-shaking news could be made public within the next month. They are looking for details, hence the delay in publishing the news, Holland told the DailyMail.com, of the strange radio signal. He further explained, technical hurdles faced are that the signal is very weak. He is convinced that the evidence is growing in support of the theory that this signal is alien in origin and from a technologically advanced civilization. He elaborated a bit more on his contact, stating, "My contact is a senior European Union radio telescope administrator," Holland told DailyMail.com. So here are my thoughts on this. In the past, astronomers have stumbled upon transmissions suspected of being alien in origin. When pulsars were discovered, they were labeled as LGM objects, LGM being short for Little Green Men. However, if what Holland said is true, when he described the signal as, instead of being the giant buzz of everything in the universe that we hear through all radio telescopes, it was a narrow electromagnetic spectrum, then such a signal would seem to defy any natural origin, at least any that we know of. Now, no matter what direction it goes in, I'm going to be excited to find out what the truth is. And also, I love how Holland said we could expect to hear something within a month. And that's about how long away the next Congressional Oversight Committee's UAP hearing is. Now, I'm not saying the two are connected in any way, shape, or form, but I am saying I do love the coincidence. So overall, I think it's best just to have a wait-and-see attitude, especially in situations like this. We let the scientists do their work and we sit back and we wait for their results. And that's really all I have to say about this story. Our next story, and by far the more heavier one and the one that has generated the most waves, by far it's not even close fam, is on Immaculate Constellation. Michael Shellenberger is an American independent journalist known for his work reporting on issues related to homelessness, free speech, and the environment. He stated a whistleblower has come forward alleging that the United States government has a secret, unacknowledged special access program known as Immaculate Constellation, a decades-long program dealing with unidentified anomalous phenomenon, otherwise known as UAP. And for those who are new to this situation, UAP is the new, more inclusive term to cover both UFOs, unidentified flying objects, and USOs, unidentified submerged objects. The whistleblower stated that there are people in both the intelligence community and the military who have held back information regarding UAPs, which violates the Constitution. There's a growing body of evidence that the government is not being transparent about what it knows about UAPs, Shellenberger explained. According to the whistleblower, Immaculate Constellation was created by the Department of Defense in 2017 in the wake of a report by the New York Times, revealing another program referred to as the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. The report given by the whistleblower gives details in regards to 7 types of evidence in regards to sightings of UAPs captured by the personnel and sensors of the United States military. It states that the verifiable chain of custody for UAP imagery intelligence collected by the United States military assets ensures a high level of confidence in the accuracy and integrity of the data gathered. The report describes different UAPs in detail. One such case was a situation in which orbs surrounded an F-22 fighter jet, the most advanced jet the United States military possesses. Shellenberger went into greater detail about this particular occurrence in his interview with Ross Coulthart. He explained that the pilot tried every maneuver he could, and no matter what, the orbs maintained their position. Finally, they escorted the fighter out of its patrol area. Another such case involved the crew of an aircraft belonging to the Navy, witnessing an orangish-red sphere descending from a much higher altitude in the sky. After this had passed, they described feeling a sense of dread and also feeling like they had just came to after being in a trance. Lastly, in regards to the report, it maintains that alien reproduction vehicles are also being secured within this program. The whistleblower went on to warn that publishing the name Immaculate Constellation could lead to government surveillance under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. So far, Shellenberger has kept details about the whistleblower as vague as possible in order to keep their identity a secret. They also have not made public any of the photos or other media. Yet, Shellenberger told News Nation, "I don't think they're faking it, or that they're lying about their fear. This person discovered this material accidentally. This was not something they had expected to encounter." Skeptics have stated that long-standing rumors about government UFO programs are due to government disinformation campaigns and social contagion. To this, Shellenberger has responded, "This new whistleblower is not part of that circular reporting. I'm confident of that. This person did not know that the other individuals who verified the name of this program. It does not fit the theory of social contagion," he told News Nation. Shellenberger himself is actually new to this issue as well, only becoming interested in it when whistleblowers first started coming forward. For him, the main focus is not even about the existence of UAP or non-human intelligence, but rather for him the important issue is upholding the Constitution of the United States of America. Congress not knowing about the happenings of the executive branch is, in his opinion, a violation of the Constitution. He opens his article on this story with the following. "One of Congress's most important responsibilities is oversight of the executive branch in general and the military and intelligence community in particular. The first article of the United States Constitution specifies this responsibility. This role ensures that powerful governmental entities operate within the bounds of the law, uphold democratic principles, and remain accountable to the American people. This responsibility extends to classified programs like special access programs. By law, the Department of Defense must notify the Gang of Eight, the chairpersons and ranking members of the House and Senate Intelligence Committees, and the majority and minority leaders of the House and Senate, and or the relevant congressional committees about their existence. The National Security Act of 1947 requires that covert operations and compartmentalized access programs by intelligence agencies, including the military intelligence community, be reported to Congress. Specifically, the President must provide a written finding that justifies covert action and to submit it to the House and Senate Intelligence Committees. While the military and the intelligence community may limit the amount of detail shared with Congress, the constitutional and legal responsibility remains. Sunshine remains the best disinfectant. Readers are, of course, welcome to disbelieve the whistleblowers and the evidence they provide of UAPs. I do not claim to know what they are. There is, however, a growing body of evidence that the government is not being transparent about what it knows about UAPs, and that elements within the military and intelligence community are in violation of their constitutional duty to notify Congress of their operations. Here are my thoughts on this. First, I'm hoping this whistleblower is going to be among those included at the next Congressional Oversight Committee's UAP hearing that is set tentatively for November 12th. As to the claims made here, I think they are plausible in some form or another. The executive branch already has, in the past, overstepped the bounds with executive orders. Some examples include, in 1942, President Roosevelt issued Executive Order 9066, which authorized the forced removal of all persons deemed a threat to national security to relocation centers. This effectively authorized the United States government to incarcerate nearly 83,000 American citizens of Japanese ancestry in internment camps during World War II. In December of 1989, President George H.W. Bush ordered the invasion of Panama, deploying the equivalent of 2 military divisions to overthrow the country's de facto leader, Manuel Noriega. President Bush not only bypassed prior legislative approval, but also delayed providing Congress with a formal report justifying the military action until the second day of the invasion. And these are just two of the more egregious examples. But what's important here to note is that in any of the instances in which a president has overstepped their due bounds with their executive order, they have never faced legal repercussions for their actions. So there's already a well-established precedence for its overstepping the due bounds with such a program, such as Immaculate Constellation. And for anybody more interested in this aspect of the topic, I would highly recommend checking out Tim McMillan's opinion piece in the debrief called Opinion, Immaculate Constellation? Could the government really hide a secret UFO program? Where he treats this and the more constitutional side of this in a much greater depth. I'll link it down below. Another point to add to this is that many lawmakers from both sides of the aisle, including the Republican Senator Marco Rubio and the Democrat Senator Christian Gillibrand, have been pushing for greater transparency as they feel like the Department of Defense isn't being as open as it should be and has been lacking accountability. So there is definitely already a feeling of a lack of transparency. So again, this claim that there's no transparency is not something out of the blue either. A final point to consider here is that the person of Michael Shellenberger. He is a journalist who prior to this has no connection to this topic. He is someone who is considered by many to be a respectable journalist, and covering such a topic such as UAP was and perhaps still is considered taboo for traditional journalists to cover. For him to cover such a situation, I believe he has to be convinced of its validity. So what do you think about these stories? Do you think the signal is really from non-human intelligence? What do you think about the new whistleblowers coming forward? Are you excited for the next congressional UAP hearing? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you're new to this story, if you're new to these UAP stories, I have a whole playlist that I will link down below that will start from the very beginning of when David Grush first came forward until the present moment. So if you would like to catch up on the story or see my previous work on this subject, please check out that playlist below. I really do love doing Big Mike's Big Universe. Unfortunately, it's a type of video I can only do when there are major news stories happening. So I don't really know when exactly the next episode will be. However, with the next congressional hearing coming up in November, you can expect the episode to be out in the coming weeks at the latest. And with that, we'll call the video proper here, fam. Welcome back to another Big Mike and Slate, baby. The part of the video that's not really part of the video, well, I'm all natural, uncut, unscripted, off the cuff, Duck Daddy. So yeah, wow, it feels so good to be back, and it feels so good to be back with a new episode of Big Mike's Big Universe. I really do love these stories, fam. I wish I could do them more often. I really, really do. So as you probably know, if you watch my Inslates, this was not really supposed to be the video that happened this week. So about Friday, I realized that the video I was going to make, I couldn't do. I thought it was something more than what it was. I thought it was a game leading into a creepypasta perhaps, or an ARG. But as it turns out, I may have been reading too much into it. I was very tired the very first time I played the game. You know, I was at the end of like my third or fourth day at Sage. I had been up since like 4 or 5 playing games. And this was like at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And the music was creepy, and it still is creepy, and there are a lot of glitches and stuff, and there was some, a lot of horrible translations, horrible English, I would say, in the game. And, the stuff you'd see in your creepypastas or ARGs from the around 2010s. But then after I looked more into it, started doing my research for the video, I found out the developer, he's not a native speaker of English, and so I think that's part of it. Also, this is their first game, and this is an amateur. This isn't, an amateur expo. So, yeah, it being buggy is definitely, part of the deal. And also, they released a new trailer for Indeed coming up, and it looks much better and much more cutesy. So I don't think this is really what they were going for, and I don't feel comfortable making a video about this, and it could be hurtful, and I don't want to hurt anybody. That's not who I am. So, but rather fortuitously, Friday afternoon, as I was frantically searching for a new video to do, I came across the first story I covered, and then I started doing my research for that, and the very next day when I woke up, I found the second story of Immaculate Constellation. So everything worked out for the best. I will, however, be changing my plans up a bit. Unfortunately, I was going to do a real life story about somebody I know, kind of a murder mystery. That's probably not going to happen this month. It might happen still sometime in the future, but maybe not this month. I will, however, I would like to do some folklore from Western North Carolina, especially given what they've gone through in that part of the country. I'm in that part of my state. And for those who don't know, I am a North Carolinian. I'm a very proud North Carolinian. I love my state very, very, very much. However, I'm not from Western North Carolina, though I do have a lot of friends from university who are from there. I have family that come from there, but I personally am not from there. But still, it's a very, seeing this tragedy has been a very, has been very hard for me and not being able to help. So I just kind of want to do something to kind of honor their culture, their folklore and stuff. So I'm going to see if I can find some good folklore, some good haunted folklore. This time, however, I will not be doing the cringe deep Southern accent like I did in my videos last October. That's a little too much for me, but yeah, so that's what you can expect, and or maybe not, if more big news drops on the UAP front, then I got to give that priority, but if not, that's definitely something that's in the possibility. And that's really all I have to talk about here. So special thanks to Fran, who does a wonderful job of doing my art. She's going to be back on Twitter at some point in time. When she comes back, be sure to give her a follow. She's not only a damn good artist, she's a damn good person to work with, and you have Big Mike's damn guarantee. I guarantee you, if you work with her, you'll be damn sure you'll be satisfied. Also, special thanks to all of my friends on Twitter. I wouldn't be here without you all. And a special thanks to all of you for watching this video. Please like this video if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. But if you want to be really cool about disliking my video, and you're watching this video right now, so I already know you're pretty damn cool, please be sure to leave me a comment below and let me know why you dislike my video, so that I can improve my videos, I can improve myself, and I can be the best damn Big Mike possible. Also, if maybe you like my content, maybe you feel indifferent about it, or maybe somehow you found yourself here and you have no idea how the hell you got here. Well, regardless, I would love to hear from you, fam. I would love to hear from you, fam. See, that's how you know I do this off the cuff. But I would love to hear from you, fam. My comment section is really the only way I have of connecting with you lovely guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls. And if you like my content, please subscribe and turn your notifications on. Until next time, fam, remember, just be yourself and you'll be awesome. Peace out!